us in this, fun-filled activity and event. It's definitely going to be one of a kind. I know that it's very late right now, so really appreciate your time for coming up here. Welcome to our Energize Equity Roundtable. My name is Dana Darwish. I am your lead facilitator, and I'm also one of WIRE UAE chapter leaders. I'm just going to grab... We're just going to grab my remote. So, who are we? So, this event is brought to you by a partnership between NWES and WIRE. So, NWES is an international network of women scientists and engineers. WIRE stands for Women in Renewable Energy Engineering. It is actually a Canadian-based NGO. Our agenda for today will start with a welcome, which I'm doing right now, an opening remark by Ms. Gauri Singh. She is the Deputy Director from IRENA. Actually, this will be pushed for after Human Bingo because she's running a bit late. And then we're going to go through Human Bingo, the survey findings. So we have 2 surveys done by NWES and WIRE. And then we're going to play a fun game of Word Cafe, which is a hands-on activity, reflection and share back, and of course, wrap up. Before we start with the event, I want to first introduce our facilitators. So, hi again, my name is Dana. I am a chapter leader at WIRE UAE. We are also joined by Maha and Mai, who are currently not here. They're actually out calling people to come in, but they are the volunteers. They're volunteers at WIRE UAE. We also have Rahaf. If Rahaf, please stand up and... beautiful. So she is one of our WIRE UAE chapter leaders as well. And then we have Stephanie. She's outside as well calling people in, but she is a chapter leader at WIRE Ghana. Suzanne, unfortunately, she couldn't join us today. And then we have Tanya. Again, she's outside. She'll be back in a bit. And then Wai, she is joining us from Malaysia. She is actually from NWES. She traveled all the way from Malaysia for this event. Again, she's also outside. I'm so sorry for this. But before we start with the activities and going through the content of today, I would like to ask you all to kind of go into menti.com and just put the code because we want to get your input for the first question. I'm actually going to put this slide just back on just to give you time to actually access this. Please join in. Hello. Thank you for joining. If you can just sit in the middle if you'd like, because we have games over there. So amazing. So while everyone is kind of going through this, do you see this on your screen or is it not? Do you see it? Oh, perfect. If you could just answer this question, would be great. And we have YE here. If you can just stand up, wave your hand to everyone. Great. Exactly. All right, so while you're doing this, I think we can kind of move on to the next point. So like I said, actually, Ms. Gauri Singh will not be joining us right now. She'll be joining in a bit. She is the Deputy Director at IRENA. So first, we will start with Human Bingo activity. If you've never played Human Bingo, let me just skip through this for now. It's a very fun activity. So it's an ice-breaking activity. It will get you on your feet. You will get to know the people around you. You would network. I did this for the first time at my company, like I would say a month ago. I loved it, and I thought I'm going to do it at COP28 because it was really fun. So the whole objective of it is to kind of, you know how bingo goes, right? So on the card, which you will get right now, the paper, we will recycle the paper, I promise. But on the paper or on the sheet, you will see statements. So they could be personal development related, professional development related statement, or COP related statement. And all you have to do is move around, see the person behind you, in front of you, beside you, however it is, and try to scratch off a line, whether horizontally or vertically or diagonally. And the first one to get this needs to shout bingo. And once you shout bingo, we have actually a prize. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you will get a prize for sure. So, facilitators, Rula, if you can repeat it? Oh, okay. All right, so you want to know what's bingo again, right? Okay, let me just... Sorry about this. Okay, so this is how the sheet looks like. For example, okay, let me just give it, Tanya. Hello. Are we going through the human bingo? Okay. So this is our sheet, the human bingo sheet. As I said, the statements on it has statements related to professional development, personal development, and COP-related. All you have to do is take the sheet, take some pens, so we have pens over here, and you need to, for example, go to the person next to you or behind you or however you like, and just say, so the first statement is, for example, is vegan tried being vegan? So you need to ask the person beside you, are you vegan? Or did you ever try to be vegan? If that person says yes, you need to scratch it off and write the name of the person, because you need to, it's all for networking, you're getting to know more people, you need to know their names. Scratch it off, and the first person to get a line scratched off, whether horizontally, vertically, diagonally, would win a prize. We have something special. So, is this clear, or do you want me to go through it again? It's just a human bingo. It's clear? Yeah. You have a question? Okay. Yes. No, you need to move to another person. That's a good question. Thank you. Yeah, just start. Just move around. Oh my God, yes, exactly. I love the energy.
Sorry, what's your name?
My name is Michael.
You just need to put my name down.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was just mad.
We have one winner. Oh, so what's your name? Sorry? So Zira is our winner. So we have a winner. Just give her a round of applause. Okay. She's not. Okay, so if you can all just go back to your seats. Yes. So we have games and we're going to go through some statistics about workplace and diversity and all of that. It's a really fun activity. We have another game coming up, so if you can just stay. Wire, so Women in Renewable Energy. I'm a chapter leader.
Perfect. Two organizations in a way. The society as well as women inclusion. Started.
Please. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Yes, please. Please do. We can definitely do that, but let me. Okay. Okay, can we all take our seats, please? I'm happy that you're all having fun, but we have a winner. We don't have a second place winner. Allow for 2 winners. I mean, only Tanya can decide. Tanya, do we have a prize for 2 winners or? Okay, we have prize for 2 winners. So who is the second? Are you sure? Okay.
You ready? Who's the first winner?
Oh, so Zira is our first winner. She's the lady in a purple suit. So let's give her a round of applause again. What's your name? Alex. Amazing. Okay, so thank you. We have a lot of snacks. You just need to wait until the end of the event. We have orange juice as well, so bear with me. Okay, so again, thank you so much for participating. Oh, please join us. Hello, sir. Just join us. Thank you so much. We're done with the human bingo. You missed out. You didn't win a prize. Anyways, so again, thank you so much all for participating in this fun activity. I really appreciate that you all stepped out of your comfort zone and that you all started talking to each other and getting to know each other. That's the whole objective of today's event. So while we're waiting for the Deputy General from IRENA to join us, we can move on to the main objective, or let's say the beef of this event, because we want to share with you the survey results that was done by Inwest and Wire on inclusive workplace. So let me to present these findings, I'm pleased to introduce our speakers from Inwest and Wire. So first, let's start with Inwest. If Wai, you can just take on the stage.
So I just press this.
Yes, please. Oh, actually, this is Wire.
Oh, this wire. Keep on pressing.
Because I want to put the video
Yeah.
on.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
Hello, I'm Wai Leong from Malaysia. I'm also from the International Network of Engineers and Scientists, Women Engineers and Scientists. So today, it's my honor to present to you a very interesting survey on perceptions of gender barriers, GISE, done by International Networks of Women Engineers and Scientists. Basically, the International Network of Women Engineers and Scientists, this is a very so-called huge networks. Official NGO partners to UNESCO and UN ECOSOC. We are still with observer status with United Nations Federal Conference of Climate Change. We collaborate with United Nations Women, and we formalized in year 2000 with the UNESCO support. So this is our website, and you can see a lot of outstanding women leaders in this network. Basically, the whole objective is we would like to represent the important woman voice in STEM, and we also want to increase the presence of women in STEM as well. And we work together with more than 50 organizations, with individuals representing over 250,000 women, ladies from over 40 countries worldwide. Okay, about this very interesting project and survey we call GISE. Basically, it's a partnership with Associations of Korea Women Scientists and Engineers, KWSE and INVEST, in 2021 and 2022. So you look at the whole interesting project is we aim to compare women in STEM situation in Korea with other countries. And the survey was began in 2014 by KWSC Korea until 2019 for in West Asia and Pacific networks. So now the survey of 2022 was for men and women in all areas of STEM, including architecture, medicines, health, and social sciences. Okay, you look at here, we receive a lot of very interesting responses across the whole world. Responses achieved more than 2,900 and across 32 STEM specializations in 7 clusters, including maths, social science, medicine, animal, and agriculture. So in the whole global, 79 out of 214 United Nations member states in 9 regions and all STEM clusters. Okay, these are all very interesting survey of experiences and belief. All these sections, we are trying to look at the perceptions of gender barriers in STEM. We also want to see the career outlook for women in STEM and need for support policy to counter the gender barriers. We also want to see the gender equality and gender roles. So all the responses has been so-called rated by the responses. And you can look at here, we compare different groups, STEM sectors, gender, countries, career stages. There are a lot of very interesting hypothesis tests. Are the comparison groups in agreement or in disagreement? So across the world, you look at, these are the men perspective. Men always likely to agree that I have not been personally affected by gender barriers in STEM. And women, they also mentioned that women receive the same social evaluation and respect as men in their role as scientists and engineers. And men also trying to agree that women equally receive appraisal or award for the outcome of their project. However, ladies, women, they agree that women in STEM being disadvantaged in receiving promotions, great appraisal, research funds, or scholarship. And women always mention that women in STEM being disadvantaged in participating or leading a research project or team because she's a female. And ladies also mention that it is appropriate to introduce a quota system or affirmative actions to resolve gender equality in STEM. Okay, look at here. For long-term perspective, the goal is for the survey to play an important role in building a policy roadmap for the balanced development of future human resources. Therefore, how we know that we have achieved gender equality at work or study? We need a KPI, we need an index, we need a gender equality study. So when we have the same number of women and men in all job roles, and when the gender has no impact in how you feel your workplace or place or study are equal. Okay, let's look at here. For the gender index done by the Invest, we want to compare the perception, whether men and women, they disagree in their perceptions of barriers. Is there any potential problem? So if the men and women do not disagree, either they agree there are barriers and there's a potential to overcome issue, or they think that both there's no barriers. So look at here, therefore the GISE index is very important to indicate the potential progress towards gender equality. Look at here, why women in climate change is important? Because ladies always carry very important burden to take care of the whole family, water, take care of the young and elderly. They also take care of the whole housework, energy, and food, water. Therefore, gender equality and women empowerment in climate change is very important because with the environmental conservation and their important perceptions, they understand they can achieve the United Nations Sustainable Goals. And they also can tackle climate change with a gentle lens, and they can promote gender equality better. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we conduct this survey by Invest called GISE Index, GIS Index. We want to support the progress towards climate crisis mitigations. Therefore, we need to really support the diversity and inclusivity for innovation, better science, fair governance, and climate change solution. We want to hear your voice, and please take note of these 2 important emails. Write to us because we want to work with you for a better world. And to connect to Invest, this is the email, info@allianceinvest.net and president@allianceinvest.net. So last but not the least, let's work together. We are here to collect all your feedback and voices. We are here to listen to you, and because we want to create a better world for gender equality, inclusivity, and diversity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Waid. That was just eye-opening. Thank you so much for traveling all the way to Malaysia to show us, the results of the survey and the hard work that really went into this. Now to move to another survey, which is the WIRE survey, so Women in Renewable Energy. Unfortunately, Jenny, she couldn't join us physically, but we have a video of her showing, the results of the survey, the main takeaways from the study that was done. And after that, we will move to a very fun activity. So please, hold on, be patient, and also, go through the results that Jenny discussed, and as well as Wa'i, because this would be the main points that we will cover in our activity. So if we can please move into the video. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Jenny Yue from Women in Renewable Energy. I'm a power system engineer from Canada, and I'm excited to present the Energize Equity Survey preliminary findings on behalf of the Data and Special Projects team at WIRE. We launched this survey this year on International Women's Day, where we try to increase awareness of the challenges that women and underrepresented individuals face in the workplace, and to provide and share resources for individual and corporations to overcome these challenges. Our survey has a quantitative part where we ask for the respondents' demographic data, workplace, and how they feel about their workplace. And we have a qualitative component where we ask them to share their story. The result is preliminary, and it reflects 51 respondents, mostly from Canada. Some of the main themes that we saw on discrimination is that discriminatory behavior does not occur once. Over 50% respondents experienced discrimination 6 or more times in the past 5 years. People from all career levels experience discrimination. 70% of the respondents experienced discrimination from their superior, and there is no correlation to which career level they're at. Lastly, we would like to highlight that most incidents have someone else present. In fact, over 67% of respondents who experienced discrimination experienced it in the presence of another individual. The chart shows that the discriminatory behavior experienced by our respondents are mostly microaggression, neglect, and exclusion, which is often hard to capture by traditional company policy. What is the impact of discrimination? So here we have a comparison of the response of those who faced discrimination on the top row and those who did not. 83% mentioned that work had an impact on their physical and mental well-being for those who faced/witnessed discrimination, while only 52% said they suffered health issues as a result of work for those who did not face/witness discrimination. Overall, in summary, people who witness discrimination at work are twice as likely to fear speaking up, to feel unsupported, to feel unsafe, compared to their counterparts, those who did not face discrimination. Some of the qualitative data, we saw the emotional, health, and professional toll on the respondents through the stories that they shared. I'll share them now. I feel diminished, invisible, worthless, and so incredibly angry and depressed as well. So what happens when employees try to find resolutions to the discriminatory behavior? The path taken to report these incidents varied widely. While some found formal apologies, others encountered a lack of supportive structure leading to feeling of isolation and helplessness. As for outcomes, the aftermath of the reported incident painted a picture of inconsistency. Some respondents received satisfactory resolution and apologies, while others shared in their story that no action were taken and discriminatory behavior continued. And here are some of the stories on the path to resolution. On the negative side, we have, I was left to try and manage things on my own. The resolution was that I felt I had to quit my job to feel safe and respected. We did have some positive story where I escalated the issue to human resources and they hired a third-party law firm to investigate. My boss realized she was in the wrong and apologized. Next, let's take a look at company policy. We asked the respondents if they thought their workplace policy helped to improve employee workplace experience. Surprisingly, the response did not differ significantly between the respondent that experienced discrimination and those who did not. Similarly, when we asked what specific policy, program, and processes they had at their workplace, again, no significant difference between the respondents who have and who have not experienced discrimination. What is clear, though, is that there is little or no policy on microaggression. What that says to us is while policies are required as a baseline to establish expectation of employees, their implementation and work culture defines the effectiveness. Lastly, we're going to talk about belonging and allyship. For belonging, we asked the respondents how many individuals look like you. That means how many individuals appear to have the same race, gender, religion, etc. We asked this question both for individuals working in the same role as the respondent and also for individuals in a higher position or leadership. There is significant difference, as you can see from the pie charts, between those who faced/witnessed discrimination and those who did not. For those who faced discrimination, we see 50 to 60% of the respondents reports that either they're the only one or less than 5% of their colleagues and leaders looks like them. While 30 to 40% of respondents, those who have not faced discrimination, reported that either they're the only one or less than 5% of their colleagues and leaders looks like them. And as for allyship, respondents share their experience of being publicly belittled or humiliated, such as being yelled at or having their abilities questioned. And all of this belongs to 70% who experienced/witnessed their discrimination with another person present. But only 50% of those witnesses demonstrated allyship. So in our report, we're going to share some ideas and some research on how we may improve allyship. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. If we can just go back to the, oh, perfect. Okay, so now time for another activity, so another fun activity, which would require you to go into different cafes. So let me introduce you first to this, what is Word Cafe first? Let's go through that and let me give you a few instructions on what to do and introduce you to the different facilitators and their cafes. Oh, hello. So, all right, so we're joined right now by Mrs. Singh. Thank you so much for joining us from Irene. I guess before we go into activity, we should give her the remark, the opening remark. So thank you so much for joining. So let's go back, let's backtrack just a little bit. We need to be flexible. I know I got you all excited for the activity. Apologies. All right, here we go. Okay, let me introduce you to Ms. Singh. She is the Deputy Director at IRENA, and she has over 30 years experience in policy advocacy, in policy making, and also system change in the fields of renewable energy and sustainable development. So if we can all please give her a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, everyone. And I hate to be the one that's keeping you from the very exciting activities which I know the team would have planned for you. But it's really a pleasure to be here and on the penultimate day of COP. And still at 7 o'clock, seeing so many of you here. So it just means that there's so much more enthusiasm in getting the voices heard of the women that are here, and also some of our friends who are trying to squeeze themselves at the back and become. But also, you know, when you speak about 30 plus years of experience, that also means that I'm obviously very old. And hopefully, in these many years, have gathered some experiences that I'd like to just very quickly share with you, also in the context of you know, what we are here for. You know, I think at this COP, there were a number of events that brought out the various aspects of gender, whether it was gender in energy, whether it was gender in livelihoods, whether it was the gender aspect in who's negotiating, whether it was the gender aspect in trying to get the voices of the women out there. And I think that was a great thing because, you know, maybe you still needed to see something more happening, but it's a start. And I have to tell you that probably at this COP, and I've been to one more COP before that, I think there were many more gender events, which is a good recognition of the role that women will play in this entire mess that we have landed ourselves, and the climate impact that's impacting all of us, regardless of where we are, regardless of our situation. And we may not put a tag of climate change on many of the issues that we are seeing and facing, but if we dwell a little deeper, we will find that these are all things that have come to be because we have not, as a global community, taken care of our planet, taken care of how we consume, and whether we are consuming sustainably, how we produce. And because I'm from the energy sector, I have to say that you know, we can all see that we are not either producing sustainably, nor are we consuming sustainably. And that, of course, is a big issue, and women are really at the center of it, because if you just reflect back to maybe your mothers or at least your grandmothers, you would have seen that they are the ones who were the primary producers of energy that kept the home running. They were the ones who collected the firewood, got the cooking done to nurture all of us and for all of us to survive. Then how come the women who were, you know, really the center of everything have somehow been excluded from these discussions, making it seem as if these are, you know, very difficult discussions that women would not understand or be able to contribute. And I think that is really a very sorry state of affairs, because that kind of puts our potential as women at the rock bottom. Whereas I think all of us here have had challenges in their lives. So it's not that we go through life without challenges. And you would have also seen that when there is a crisis, you would probably see women coming out the strongest and the most resilient, getting the family together to tide that crisis and come out of it to looking forward. So this cannot be any different. It has to be about keeping women very much involved in every aspect of what the discussions at the COP are. Because I just want to, maybe end and not keep you from your activity by just giving you one of the things that I've seen in many developing countries. When you talk about farmers in a room, suppose you have a room filled with people and you're talking about farmers, and you ask them to put up their hands to tell you whether they think that farmers are males. And you will see that nearly 90% of the room will put their hand up, saying yes, the farmers are indeed male. But if you've seen most of the developing countries that I would imagine a lot of you come from, and if you've seen the rural communities, you've also seen that the men have possibly migrated to the cities, leaving the whole task of managing the children and the elderly, and the health, and the education of children, and eking out a sustainable living out of the small farmlands that they have, are all left to women. So women are, in fact, going to be the hardest hit for when the climate change will start impacting the food growing patterns, the cropping patterns, the soil degradation that's happening, the number of rainy days will get reduced, and also not having enough sustenance to go on. So I think it's important for all of us to realize that we represent a very powerful voice. And at every opportunity that we get, we need to make sure that we are heard, because no one's going to come to you and ask you to speak. You need to be heard. You need to speak. And you need to be confident that whatever you are saying comes from experience and comes from deep within all your life experience, because none of us are different. All of us have gone through life pretty much in a similar way, someone less, someone more. But your life experiences and my life experiences are not that different. So we need to have that confidence to be able to speak our mind regardless of what that male-dominated room might think. And I'm saying this because I've had the occasion to be in many such conversations where I was probably the only female. But I made sure that I came up and spoke my mind, because I think I should be heard, and I think that my experience also counts, and I think I can also contribute to trying to solve the crisis of the climate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Singh, for joining us today and sharing with us, your experience in this industry, as well as, what women go through in such fields, and your insights, and also a bit on the opportunities and challenges. So now, okay, let me skip through it again. I love how flexible we are, so thank you so much for being patient. Okay. Now it's time for the activity. All right, so how does this activity go? Let me give you a bit of a summary or a description of the process that we're going to go through. So the Word Cafe is a structured conversational process designed to facilitate open and intimate discussions. It allows groups to focus on specific topics by rotating among several stations or cafes, each hosted by a facilitator. So today, just seeing how many participants we have, we're gonna divide ourselves into 3 cafes. So each cafe will have a specific topic related to the survey results we just discussed, with the conversations we just had and the presentations we went through. So now allow me to introduce to you the topics, as well as who will be the main facilitator for each cafe. And I have over here, just to make it more fun, I have over here the numbers 1, 2, 3 on sticky notes, and the name of the facilitator that I'm gonna call. Please come here, take your number, okay? Okay, first starting with the first cafe, and the first one will go for Wai. She will cover off identifying challenges for individuals and organizations. So come please, you can wear this, or, works, perfect, thank you. Second, we're gonna go with Stephanie. So you will cover off identifying gaps in existing solutions for individuals and organizations. Number 2. And then last but not least, Tanya, you will cover off solutions and actions.
Thank you.
So I know on the screen we have 4 cafes, but actually we're just gonna go with 3. Okay, so let me tell you a bit on the instructions. Feel free to join any cafe. You know how you go to any cafe, you're like, hey, I want some coffee, I want some water. Just feel free to do that. But here we're gonna discuss. And feel free to move from one cafe to another as you see fit. You don't have to stick to the same cafe, to the same barista, whether Tanya or Wai. So let's start. We have like around 25 minutes for this activity.
Solutions and changes. So we have Roundtable, sticky notes for solutions and changes. Solutions and actions. We are, solutions and actions. So everything is time to speak online. Are you happy?
If you have any questions, just raise your hands. Hello? Can you hear me? Samatini? Oh, great. Okay. I want to remind you all that you can move between the different cafes whenever you feel like it, just in case. We have, well, initially 25 minutes, but we're actually ahead of time anyways. Yeah. Okay, final 5 minutes, so feel free again to move around. But I love the active participation. This is so inspiring. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. It's done. We're done. Okay, fine. Final 1 minute. No, ladies, you know what? I love that you're all having really lovely discussions. We don't want to go over the time. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. Facilitators, Stephanie, Tanya, Stephanie, Tanya, Wai. Sorry, ladies. We're done. Okay. Can we just go back to our places? Stephanie. I'm gonna kill you, Stephanie. Come on.
This is the best. May will summarize or.
Okay, what's happening? What are we doing? We're gonna take photos at the end. Come on.
Okay, then.
We only have 22 minutes. I have the timer there. So, yeah, we really need to. Okay, back to your plate. Okay. I'm gonna cry. Okay. Okay. Are you? Okay, while you guys are taking photos, I just want to say, I'm gonna cry. I feel like a teacher in school. Okay. Thank you everyone for this insightful and dynamic discussions in our Word Cafe sessions. Now we would like to take a moment to share the rich insights.
Sorry, Dana.
Okay. I know. That's what happens when, you have really dynamic discussions. You just want to submerge yourself further into it, and I love the passion, but we have only 21 minutes and we want to go through the agenda. So again, thank you everyone for, going through this amazing activity with us. Now we want to take a few moments to reflect on what we learned through the discussions. What was something that stood out to you the most? What was something that you want to share with everyone? So first, let's start with group number 1. So Wai, do you want to? Perfect.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So we are from Group 1. Our topic is, what are the challenges as an individual or your participation in the organization? So we have engineers, we have academicians, we have NGO staff. We also have the manager, operation manager in our group. Basically, we have a very interesting discussion. What we all face is, of course, some of the members, they are quite lucky to have a good career progression, but we also suffer from maybe salary increment, bonus, or promotions. So we are talking in these current situations when looking for a job is so difficult. If you have no negotiation power or your lack of certain thing to negotiate for higher salary, what you do? So based on our discussion is, we try to tolerate at the moment while looking for other jobs and better opportunity instead of going for that. We are so fortunate is we have this group, we are quite honest to share our opinions. We hope to have a humble opportunity to at least buy a car, humble house to survive. Of course, we always look for better opportunity, salary promotions, because as our humble point of view, we also need to have a better life for our future and better prospect. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Wai, and thank you, group number 1, for the great discussions. Anyone wants to add something from the group? Can we have a microphone, actually? Ah, perfect. Tony, do you want to? So just
It's
yes.
something.
Yeah.
There's one point on, actually there's policy in the company, there are policy always, but the policy may be to showcase, show off for glamour, but not be able to protect the gender equality for staff.
So do you want to first start saying your name, just introducing yourself, and then?
Yes, I'm Saad Talaf. I'm a
Yes.
renewable energy engineer. Just I want to highlight something that here our colleague mentioned how she is suffering from the war inside her country in Sudan. And we should not forget the people who are suffering from wars and how climate change exacerbated their pain, actually. They are, by the way, most vulnerable, and how can you imagine how their situation will be, why they are suffering from wars, from political issues inside their countries. So we should take into our consideration the people who are affected by wars. Yes, the challenges for them will be, of course, horrible. Yes, but okay, normal. They already suffering from these challenges as an individual and as a woman in the, let's say, in these places, and how we can imagine their situation after also the wars. So we will we should take more, let's say, put them in our consideration and advocate for their rights. Yes, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this, because at the end of the day, we're all here because we believe in sustainability, we believe in a better world, we believe in a better tomorrow, and if we don't put human rights and justice, climate justice at the heart of sustainability, then we're not achieving sustainability. So thank you so much for that. Okay, if no one has anything to add from group number 1, I believe we can move to group number 2. So Stephanie, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So I'll try to put together everything that we said. However, the mic is just with them, so they'll also be contributing. We have doctors and professors, so I don't see why I see everything. The second thing we are considering is the gaps in existing solutions for individuals. And one of the gaps was mentioned by Wei, where she mentioned that when it comes to policies, so everybody has an HR policy about discrimination, about gender, but you go and blah, it's not working. So how do we advance that? So that's one of the gaps we're looking at. We also consider that some of them are very gray. They're too blanket. They don't focus on certain groups. And we had a very visible example. Somebody says, for instance, there are not provisions for women mothers, actually, in certain organizations. So you'd see that they say, okay, we've made provisions for mothers to be inclusive, but let's give them 2 months leave. Most of the time, it's very inadequate. So we want more of that. We want to see that it is looking at the various sectors of women, their particular needs, and trying to implement them. The next thing we also talk about is we went a little bit beyond women, because women are different, they're very vast and very varied. So we need to consider race and religion. Some people actually do that. And in some environments, they discriminate on that particular note. And we are not entirely happy about that. So there are solutions that are put out there, but we want them to actively consider some of those things as well. And sometimes men actually get intimidated by women that are smart and are very avid and speaking loudly. They feel like you're going to take their jobs, unfortunately. For the men looking at me strangely, it's true. It just got vivid examples. So sometimes when this intimidation happens, we need to be very conscious that sometimes women are not here to take your jobs. If somebody's good, they are good, right? Let us promote who's good. And execution of some of these policies, I think I've mentioned that already. Resistance and incoming and stable salary issues. So for instance, when a woman just comes back from work after she's had a child, or she stayed at home, she's taking a gap year, 2 gap years, and you put her in front of an intimidating interview audience and says to her that, what salary would you like? And the person says, what is your salary bracket? And you go, it happens to everybody generally, right? But sometimes, they have been out of work for a while. They might have skills, but they don't necessarily also know where they stand in the job markets then. Then they'll end up going for the lowest brackets because they feel like that's what That is what could be done. One day, it's probably like 10,000, 100,000, and you give them 5,000, because that's what they asked for. So we need to consider that particular thing. It's not entirely fair as well. We went a little into other parts, and we considered some people don't have diversity trainings at all. We consider diversity and inclusion training. Some people don't have diversity and inclusion trainings at all. The ones who have it, it is just another political thing. The company must do it, so we are doing it. Tick that box and let's move on. And we are not happy about that. I have a bit more, but I'm going to let my co-persons all talk about it. And I know it's in their heads too. I have it here, but I want you to also be a very active part of it. Please, you have the mics. Would you like to go first?
Thank you so much. Yeah, we discussed lots of...
Say your name.
Okay. Rola Nasruddin. I'm energy and climate change expert. I'll go to the last section what we mentioned about what are the creative solutions to reduce this gap for inclusivity. I think first of all we start with training, mentoring the women specific and also men. And what's the meaning of inclusivity at work? How you get more inclusive? It's not about a checklist. It's like how we work in harmony between all the co-workers and managers and top management. The other thing is professional development for the employees to give them a chance. I mean, like sometimes some people, they have, not everyone is perfect, so they maybe have many high skills in certain area, but they have a little bit weakness. So work on their weaknesses and improve this so they can be better. So as a team, I mean, look for areas how they can add more. I mean, they could be an ideas how they can do the work better for the company or the organization. Policies, regulations, I mean, have more flexibility at work, work remotely. I mean, ask them what they want, ask them what's their 5 years, I mean, like dream. I mean, maybe they want to move to a different department. Maybe they want to learn something, or maybe sometimes give them like 1 year, they couldn't go for masters or whatever. So listen to them, hear them, and support them. Sometimes if there is someone who have not good chances, I mean, work on that and give them what they need.
Thank you very much. Just a quick one. We pass it on to Beth, and then Rahaf. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just add on what I've been told. I'll just give you an example from Somalia. In Somalia, we're very gender biased. So if there is no quota enforcement in place, women will be left. You will see 50 men in a certain activity or in a certain organization. So I'll just add on a comment, empowering like gender quota in the underdeveloped countries that are lacking behind when it comes to inclusivity.
Thank you very much. Rahaf will not say anything. You're good. She said everything. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Oh, you guys will not clap for me.
Clap, clap. Okay, thank you so much. That's very insightful. And I think that you guys really went really deep into this conversation. Last but not least, the third cafe, Tanya. Do you want to nominate someone? Yeah, perfect. May.
Thank you. So I was told to only have 5 minutes, so I'm gonna sum it up. So I hop into Cafe 3 in the last 2 questions. So basically, Cafe 3 is about solutions and actions, and the question, what actions can individuals, organizations, and policymakers take to navigate the challenges and face them? So we had a couple of interesting solutions here. For example, Mr. Pinaki, he said that in his organization, they don't allow women to contact men after 7 p.m. or vice versa. Men cannot contact women after 7 p.m. for any work purposes. For work purposes. Also, he sees that they do give 3 types of different trainings on having gender sensitiveness and being more compassionate with different gender equality and different ethnicities. Let's move on with, we have a PhD student again. Remind me of your name. Yes? Punish. Pratishta. Okay, so Pratishta sees that the questions remain if we give education, are people enough motivated, or do people will, after educating, are they going to implement actions? And she sees that we have to be the voice of people who are vulnerable, who can't speak for themselves. And she sees that beside education, I guess awareness and implementation is one of the most important things to face the challenges of gender equality. And then I guess Mustafa from Guide House, he agreed on that. And he said a very interesting thing they do have in each project, they do have what's so-called a gender champion. And if you can elaborate more about this topic and gender champion, where I guess in each project they do have to, yeah, if someone has the mic to. Okay.
No need for a mic. Yeah.
Okay, you can speak.
Yeah, the gender champion is basically, they have the role of making sure that the project is really represented from both sides, men and women equally, and whether there is at any moment of time the project kind of misses this aspect, they keep bringing it back up, linking the different outputs of the project directly hand in hand with the gender equality at the same time. It's a requirement for the projects to actually go through, even from the European Commission, from the German government, for example. It's a criteria for the project to be funded to have an equal representation of both sides with every single project.
Yes, and I think this is amazing where we see some positive actions happening by organizations. And then we have Boda from the African Wildlife, where she believes that in order to allow women to shine, they should, organizations should give the trust to women that they can handle this project or their work, and they should put more trust on them, and they should give them value and credit for whenever they do have the work. And I guess this sums up our actions and solutions for Cafe 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, May. Incredible points. Thank you all for this really active participation. Thank you for the facilitators. So another round of applause, please, to yourselves, to the facilitators, to WIRE, to NWES. Okay, so let's wrap up. Unfortunately, I know I wish we could stay longer and just carry on, but we could definitely do. Oh, Tanya, you're back. Hello. Okay, so we're wrapping up right now. I was just going to say that in order to keep the conversation going, in order to kind of see how we're going to take the surveys further at WIRE and NWES, please follow us on LinkedIn. So that's WIRE, Women in Renewable Energy. NWES as well, go over our website. We have a very detailed website. We have a specific page on Energize Equity that you can just go on, see the results, see how what are our next steps. And in order to wrap things up, I want you to go back to Menti, please. So just type in the URL and then type in the code. If you still have it open, that's great. You can just go directly on there. And Tanya, do you want to go to the laptop just to make sure that we're moving through the slides? Thank you. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback, what you think of this session, what you think we need to do for our survey, what are the next steps. So if you can just go over to Menti, that would be great.
Is it working?
Is it working?
Okay. So first slide? Second slide.
You should see this, what? Do you see the same question? Yes. Oh, okay, perfect. Just, we will not see your answers here, but you can definitely see it on your screens. So if you could just type in your answers. Yeah, I know. Next. Okay. Can we move on to the next one? What?
I am going back a little bit.
Oh, here.
Okay.
No, they're talking about this one.
90.com, 71,
7192807. Okay, so if we're done with this question, I guess, Tanya, you can move to the next one.
Okie dokie.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to recommend a similar event to a colleague or a friend? Just, I just want to remind you, we went through human bingo, word cafe, survey results. We have cookies that we're going to end with, and we have orange juice. You know how hot today was, so I'm just saying.
We can follow up after, no worries.
We have amazing facilitators, Stephanie, Wei,
Way from
Tanya. Wei came all the way from Malaysia.
next.
What was your favorite experience or moment of the event? What aspect of the event did you enjoy the most? So was it the human bingo, the word cafe? Exactly. The surveys? Yep.
Keynote speaker.
Keynote speaker from Irina. Was it me? Was it Tanya?
I don't know.
Let's move to the next one. Tanya? Oh, you moved it? Oh, okay, so I don't need to. Perfect. Okay, let's read this one. So if you could change one thing about today's event, what would that be?
The hour.
Maybe the time. What? Tell me.
You increase the time.
Oh, this is amazing.
Facial wire member.
So whoever didn't hear this, I'm just going to say it over the microphone. He said that he wishes the session was longer. So do you like the format of the event? If you have suggestions, please share them. So, we use Menti, we use slides, we use paper and pen. Anything you want to change about the format? Okay, so this is all about looking forward. So what would you like to see from future Energize Equity campaigns? Your ideas and suggestions are valuable to us. So something we need to focus on when it comes to the survey or the study, something that we're missing. And honestly, feel free to just speak it out if there's something. So we have 1 minute left, but we're done anyways. So again, just please share any comments that you have. And if you'd like to receive any updates, like I said, just follow us on LinkedIn or our website. Exactly, and add your names and your email address. Okay, so we've come to the end of today's event. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It means a lot to us. Please let's stay connected. That's the whole objective of such events. So again, let's give ourselves a round of applause. And we have cookies outside and chocolate and orange juice, so just enjoy yourselves.
Thank you so much for attending, for all the people who joined. Yes,
Let's take a group photo.
1 minute. Susan, take a picture.
Photograph, but we need to finish now.
A quick one, quickly.
Quick